Well, hello, this is the Huggable, the Lovable, Big Bear StarCraft 2, and just for you guys to know that song props do go to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is Danny California by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's about 3 minutes and 55 seconds long. Now, the thing is, I am trying to think of these music videos for those of you who are viewing my videos for the first time. I'm trying to put the music on here just because, like, I feel like the beginning of the games are a little bit boring, and you can only talk so much, so I feel like music is always a good backup. If people not want to hear my voice anymore, they can just kind of tune my voice out and listen to the amazingly amazing singing abilities of Chad. I think that's his name. I forget what the lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers is, but this is in fact my favorite band. I said that last game, but you know, they are amazing. Now, because I'm listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers, I am just a little bit more pumped than normal for this TVP. And when you have a name like Abuse Your DNA, like, what the heck? Abuse your DNA. That's like saying let's live life to the fullest, guys. Like, this guy here, abuse your DNA. I feel like this guy is ready to go. He's saying, you know what, man, I just changed my genetic composition. That is why I have a whopping 339 APM. Jeez Louise, man. This guy probably has like 10 fingers on each hand. Who knows? I've never seen him before, and I'm sure it's some sort of Smurf account, but I think that's a funny name. The 10-handed abuse your DNA. You know, I mean, Sjow is saying, is that even allowed? He's looking in the Star Wars tournament rulebook and saying, can I play against someone who has 10 hands? Like, is this really fair? He can click every single key at once. I mean, how else do you have 322 APM? If you look at his APM tab, I'll throw it up there one more time. Now it's 319. So he's probably only playing with 9 hands. He's probably using that 10th hand to, in fact, get a drink of water. Who really knows? Now, anyways, Sjow, I have seen his games, and this guy is... I mean, I don't really know what to say about Sjow. He kind of plays that standard game that's extremely, like, it's extremely, let's see, how do you put this? Like, it's standard, but he cheeses, and he can also macro, but when he macros, I think he has a stronger cheese style of play and a stronger, like, early game standard play than his macro game is. I've seen him kind of slip up a little bit in the macro, like he kind of struggles a little bit to get a little bit further, and you can see he actually is already building a bunker here. And that's just really because now look, now DNA, who is in fact abusing all of the DNA he has, it has to pull off probes to try to kill this bunker until it's actually done, and he can actually do a lot of delayed mining times. You can see there's a lot more probes actually on the way here, but they will in fact surround this marine with any sort of play, but they actually know they're instead going to deter him, and now this bunker here will in fact have to go down, but at the cost of one scouting probe. He took out a lot of mining time, so that was good by Sjow. That was never really meant to do any damage. It was just meant for him to have to pull his probes off the line, but also good job by the 10-handed abuse your DNA to not overcommit to that and pull off more than the probes he needed. There is no Zerg in here, so we do not in fact have drones. So DNA handled that well, and Sjow did a good job by just kind of interrupting a little bit of the early mining time and maybe throwing DNA's timings off by a couple of seconds. Because little do you know, professional players at this level actually do have their timings down to like the half a second. It's kind of insane, and you can see now he's actually going to be making a very, very strong early push. This is the push I do all the time. It's just a 1 Rax, 2 Marauders Marine with 2 SCV push, and you can see that DNA, all he really has is these 2 units here to defend it, and I think he also has a Stalker. No, actually no, instead he opted to get out the Sentry as opposed to the Stalker. So this push is actually going to be pretty effective. Now these two SCVs here are going to just simply be there for scouting, and now he really just needs to be careful not to lose all of his SCVs. He really cannot lose this SCV and this bunker here, or else this push will be pretty unsuccessful. And it looks like he does lose it, so very good play by DNA to actually prevent any sort of early push like this, because now I think that this will be relatively ineffective, or at least not as effective as it was going to be before. He will actually kill this Stalker. Good control by Sjow. He really should be killing the Stalker. You can see now it is dead, and this Sentry will go down as well. Now if he can be careful, he can actually kill this Zealot, or at least a couple of probes in the mix, but probes are faster than Marauders, so they can surround a Marauder if they are microed correctly. And now he's going to be getting more barracks down on the field. There's going to be a second barracks and a third barracks, as opposed to any sort of fast expansion. So Sjow is actually going for a 3 Rax hard pressure into expansion. You can see his expansion is down, but it's going to be a little bit later. Usually the Terran players is done or halfway done when the Protoss player originally throws down his. You can see that there's going to be more Stalkers sitting at the front of You can see that he actually is going to be pushing up to the front of the base. Now, this is really good play by the 10-handed DNA because he will actually just... Oh, he actually can just walk right in there. So that that supply depot is saying, you know what, guys, I don't really feel like doing my job. I just received my 2-week notice. It's not worth it for me to just die, and I'll just let the Zealot come on in here. He's saying, welcome, Protoss brethren. He's probably one of those spy supply depots. Now the Terran is saying, oh no, we need to work on our infrastructure. We are being attacked from within by spy supply depots and misplaced SCV workers. I'm sure that the worker in this mineral line here is being very quiet, as opposed to saying, yep, that was me, because you do not want to be the next probe to just randomly, now I'm saying randomly in quotations, be selected to scout. And if you make a mistake like misplace the supply depot, you are going to be the next SDV to scout. He's saying, come on guys, this isn't fair. And you can see, look at that, he is going to be headed right for the Protoss's homeland, but he does not have any sort of choice. We'll see if Sjow takes mercy on him and instead decides to spare this SCV, but I am guessing not. Now, Sjow is actually just transitioning into a mass Marine Marauder build. He's going to probably be getting a factory. There's the factory, and then he'll be going into Starport. While back at the home of DNA, you can see he still only has 1 or 2, so 3 gateways. He's only going 3 gate, though. I mean, that's kind of hard to support. So he's probably going to be going into some sort of tech switch, and you can see there's the Dark Shrine. Now, this is very good play by DNA. I really like whenever any Protoss player goes for the Dark Shrine tech, because Dark DTs do like 40 damage a slash, which means that they kill Marines in 2 slashes. They are invisible, they're incredibly fast, and you can pretty much use them to harass anywhere, because a Terran player does have a limited number of scans, and every time you throw down a scan, it is like wasting 300 minerals. So usually you see Terran players just instead opt for that Raven tech that most Terran players do in fact favor. Now he's going to be sending out a lot of probes here just to kind of scout what is going on. This Zealot here will in fact take control of the Zelnaga watchtower. He's saying, haha Marine, you have a slight machine gun. That will do nothing against the shields that I do have, and I will slash away, slash, 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 and you are split in half. Now this probe here is going to be taking control of the Zelnaga towers because he really just wants map control, because now Sjow is a little bit in the dark, and Sjow doesn't really know what kind of tech that the Abuse Your DNA, the 10-handed monster, is in fact going. I think that there's a 10-handed like Hindu god or something. So, I mean, I'm not saying that Abuse Your DNA is a god, but he might be a reincarnation of something. I don't know. Because, and I know that Sjow is just a little bit scared and a little bit nervous, and that's why he's a little bit nervous to push out. Now, see this? This is what he's going to do. He's going to hallucinate a Phoenix. This is all part of a build. He's going to use it to spot the high ground, and then he's just going to warp in like 3 or 4 DTs right here. He can only fit 2, but he's probably going to get a lot more. And now he's going to go for both probe lines, both SCV lines at the same exact time. He's going to try to do as much damage to these SCV lines as he possibly can. 2 Marauders here are coming in just to scout, but there's going to be a lot of DTs. And there's not really going to be anything to scout it. You can see that he's going to deny mining at a lot at the bases for a long time, immediately throwing down a missile turret, but there's no missile turrets here that can be thrown down. You can see there's also no scans for a good 10 seconds, so he's going to be doing a lot of damage to this army. He really should go and kill the SCV that is in fact working on this. Now he's going to try to surround the... Oh, he's actually going to let it finish. Oh no! And this DT deserves to die. He did not kill the SCV like he should have. Now you can see just warping in more Dark Templar. Now if you go to the workers kill tab, you can see that he has already killed 15 workers. So this push is pretty effective no matter what. And now he's just going to be slashing away somewhere. I hear it. He's just slashing away at this supply depot. He's going to supply block the Sjow, which is incredibly annoying. And now he's going to have DTs everywhere inside of the base. So this is very smart play. But Sjow is saying, I will have none of it. I am just going to push right down your throat and make you wish you were never born. And there is a lot of a lot of the Protoss's army here, and so he will be at a little bit of a disadvantage. It's going to be Stim. A lot of Zealots are in fact melting, and the Marines and the Marauders in the back are going to be dealing out a huge amount of damage. Now they're going to be pushing to the front, and there's a single DT here, probably going to be slicing away at all of these units. The probes are in fact being pulled off the line. The Stalkers and the Sentries are slowly killing them, and I think that this battle will actually favor the Protoss player. And you can see this guy here has 6 kills just by himself. There was no scan ever, and if there was a scan, this DT here would have not been alive, and 7 kills on that DT really could have shifted the battle easily. That was kind of bad play by the Terran player, and now this DT here is just going to be slashing away. There's a lot of scan on this, but I'm really not sure if that push in was the smart thing to do, if he was in fact not even planning to scan it. And now I think Sjow is in a little bit of trouble. He'll probably have to GG here in a little bit, because if you go to the workers kill station, you can see 70 or 36 workers killed, so he's at a humongous disadvantage. He's also lost an incredibly high amount of buildings. Almost all of his production facilities are in fact down. This entire base here is completely unsaturated. If you go to the unit skill tab, you can see that he is at 6 SCVs to 34 probes. So the Protoss player is at a huge advantage here at the 14-minute mark. You never want to be at 6 probes at the 14-minute mark as any player, or 6 SCVs, but especially not 6 probes, because DNA with his 10 hands will not even have anything to do, and you can see that his APM is still hovering around 300. I don't even know how that's possible. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like 300 APM, but then again, if I had 10 hands, I could probably hit 300 APM pretty easily. And now he's transitioning into a 7 gateway all-in style of push, and that just basically means that he's saying, you know what, with your 39-40 now advantage, I will have 104. And I think that this army up here on this ramp here alone is enough to actually win this battle here. So I don't really know what DNA is doing. I think he is saying, I hope that you sacrifice yourself to me, the god of Protoss, the 10-handed, abuse your DNA. Now, Sjow either needs to have like 10 hero marines, kill off this Nexus, kill off all of these probes, and kill off half of this army in order to win the game. And now you can see the final push-in will, in fact, end this game, and this is going to be GG by Sjow. I have a feeling that since he stayed in here so long, there's going to be a little bit of BM, but we'll see. I'm calling it right now, but I'm not entirely sure. Sjow isn't really known for his BM, and you can see there it is. The well-mannered player that Sjow is just simply GGing out of this game. Sjow really is a very, very polite player. And I mean, but I don't know. Sjow really needs to start, like, copying some of the other most successful Terran's builds. I think he's trying to, like, find his own way to play, which is nice. But you need to not do that in tournaments, because tournaments are worth money, and this is how professional players do make their livelihood. Abuse your DNA, taking one of the games. It looks like 1-0. I think that this was game 1. I don't know if I'll be casting game 2. But the 10-handed DNA does take this game in a very decisive victory. This is Big Bear StarCraft 2 saying my character name for StarCraft is Big Bear. My character code is 473. So add me. And all you have to do is to subscribe, is be a nice guy, and hit F5. Leave me feedback on what you guys think about the music. And this is Big Bear StarCraft 2 signing.